Hey guys, it's
What's up?
Ricochet. It's Ricochet doing more of the Fire Emblem marathon talk streams. But this time we're doing the final version of Fire Emblem Fates Revelations, which is annoying because you have to pay $20 just to even buy it.
And we're also doing the DLC, which you'll see because, well, at this point, it's kind of necessary because Revelations is so short.
And we're also gonna be doing my castle and how it works. That weird base thing that people do but don't really do. And also stuff like invasions and that.
Shh. When the hell do we even talk about that?
I got it. Anyway, before we even start that, a little few updates from me. Firstly, I've finally started watching JoJo with Draven, and it's interesting. Kind of like it because I'm a chuny, I'm a tuna boyu, and the over the topness is pretty fun.
Well, glad I could be of service. Though, trust me, we haven't even really truly reached the over-the-topness levels yet. There is still more to come.
I know. I'm only on part two with Joseph. I haven't even gotten into JoJo yet, so.
Yeah,
Anyway,
let me tell you.
we're not talking about JoJo here. We're talking about Fire Emblem.
And how do we start with Fire Emblem? By talking about how the hell we even get on this path.
To start, you have to buy Fire Emblem Fates Revelations from the eShop, which costs $20, or you have to get the collector's edition, or some sort of special edition that comes with Revelations already in it. So already you're paying for half of the game to be able to essentially to get the entirety of all three paths. You need to pay $100.
It's
40
quite.
40 for Fates and Birthright. Sorry, 40 for Conquest and Birthright, 20 for Revelations. Can you see why most people got annoyed at this?
Yeah.
Paying an extra $60 when you could have just paid 40.
And not to mention the fact that it's kind of. Look, Fate's had some problems.
Oh yeah.
Fate's had some problems, and we're gonna get into that.
But you know, okay.
More in particular,
Here's also the thing with Revelations. You can do all three paths. You're not stuck with Revelations path if you do Revelations. If you want to, you can do Conquest of Birthright's path on Revelations. So obviously they had the ability to put all three into a single game. I feel like they were just annoyed at Pokemon and tried to emulate them. And they realized, wait, fuck, we can't do that because that's not how Fire Emblem works.
You're part of Nintendo. How do you get pissed off at your own? I can only imagine the business practices were just off at that day.
I mean, look at Sega.
Plus, there was a lot of other things wrong, which I will get into, and most likely you will get into when we talk about the children of Fates and their purpose. Or lack thereof.
There isn't one, as we've already mentioned before in previous ones. They're just there because in Awakening the children characters were good, and so they wanted to bring it back. Didn't work out. Oh god, we also have to go into the whole skin chip thing that was censored in the overseas release.
We don't have to go into the censorship of stuff. But
I will. I will because it's actually kind of important.
Fair enough.
Now, let's focus on Revelations. So, Revelations starts like the other two files. You can either side with Hoshido with Nor, or choose neither. Which, by the way, at the start of the game suggests you play the other two versions first so you don't get spoiled. Because they're not lying. To fully understand Revelations as a whole, you need to play the other two versions first.
Yeah.
While you can just go straight into Revelations, there's a lot of little things that all ultimately are important to the plot that you wouldn't know if you had played the other two versions. Just like, you know, I only beat Revelations like maybe 3 months ago. I really didn't like playing it that much. It didn't help that my first playthrough, which I got Revelations like a year and a half ago at this point. Year? I can't remember when Fates came out now. But here's the thing. On my first playthrough of Revelations, every single one of my characters got stat screwed. So when I got to chapter 25, I couldn't beat it because all my stats were too low.
Fun.
So, chapter 6 of Revelations is called Into the Ground. Essentially, Corrin says, I don't want to side with either Hoshido or Nor because I don't want to hurt either of my families. Xander and Ryoma get pissed off and attack you. What do you do in this chapter?
Well, L, as a difference from both, you're basically fighting just some random mooks. Because Xander and Ryoma are fighting each other. Yeah,
you have to fight a Wyvern Rider and a Samurai. And they're a bit stronger. Not really. They're essentially just normal enemies with beast up stats because they don't even have a name. Although it's gonna be a lot harder because all you have for that fight is Corrin, your maid butler of choice, and Azura.
Yep. And let me tell you, Azura is not strong. You also have a turn time limit.
5 turns. This is a precursor to what Revelations does a lot. There's a lot of things that are bullshit. It's nowhere near as bad as the pots in Conquest, because that one was special. But it screws you over in other ways. By the way, once you beat both the commanders, Ryoma and Xander get more pissed off, and they say, "Go away. We're gonna kill you now, so you have to flee."
And Ryoma is, well, he's basically going through Conquest Ryoma things.
And Xander is a weird mix of kind of Ryoma, kind of not, because Xander is understanding, but he's still gonna cut you down because why the hell are you not siding with either side? That's blasphemy essentially. Once again showing that Noah is better than Hoshido because at least they're understanding and can listen to reason.
We're not complete and utter idiots.
No, that goes to Hoshidans. Hey, can you revoke that?
There's really no way to deny it because
Hoshidans are idiots for almost all of Fates, even when you're playing Birthright.
The only one that isn't even close to an idiot is just ironically Takame.
And Rinka. Yeah,
Sakura tries, but she has an honest reason for trying.
Yeah. Rinka isn't brought up much, but Rinka is actually probably one of the smartest Hoshidans out there. And here's the thing, she's not even officially Hoshidan, she's from the Flame Tribe.
And isn't that that's actually weirdly the closest, like, tribe to Nor, weirdly enough.
Yeah, no, officially according to directors, there are 4 tribes: the Wind, Fire, Water, and Earth. The Water and Earth have been mentioned, but the Fire tribe is essentially on the border. The Fire tribe is on the border, while the Wind tribe is in the middle of Hoshido, and the Water and Earth tribes they're not near Nor, essentially. So, kind of funny. Anyway, chapter 7. How do we explain what Azura makes us do at the start of that chapter?
We finally go to O2. Okay, here we go.
So, the start of the chapter, after you do the whole My Castle spiel, guess what Azura makes you do?
Jump off a bridge!
Into the bottomless canyon. You know, that massive canyon that is a natural barrier for Hoshido and Nor, and it said that it's, bottomless. Turns out it's not bottomless. It's a secret portal to Vala. I don't know why you take that portal, because there are a ton of massively sharp rocks that could kill you in one blow, and suspension of disbelief is hard in this, because there is no way that every single character dodged those massive outcrops. There's no way. Someone has to have gotten hurt. Because it's essentially like Jaws closing in on you in the cutscene. Also, I'd like to note,
I guess there's a
Azura is just
I guess it's like a special process, maybe.
Anyway, Azura is all like calm while the Avatar is flailing. And now here's a bit of fridge humor. The Avatar can turn into a dragon, and they have been shown to be able to fly in the dragon form. So why are they so panicked? You can fly. Anyway, further increasing suspension of disbelief. Once you get to the bottom, you aren't dead, but you're in this weird place called Vala, which has distortion world physics. What do we mean by that?
Well, it's just so...
There are islands floating in the sky.
I'm sorry. I don't even know how to put Revelations into words without just feeling my brain dying.
In Revelations, you quickly learn to stop thinking logically, because the game sure doesn't. Anyway, once you get to Vala, Azura tells you the first rule of Vala.
Don't talk about Vala outside of Vala.
There's actually a reason for that, because if you talk about Vala outside of Vala, you're gonna disappear into weird purple energy fragment things. Essentially, you're gonna die through torture.
You're gonna fucking melt, basically.
Or disintegrate. It's closer to disintegration. Apparently, also, if Azura overuses her songs, that also happens for some reason. And also apparently
get that.
Apparently the disintegration eats through clothes too. I don't get that part either. Like, there's a lot of confusion around. There's a reason why we both kind of just groan a little at Revelations, because the story makes no sense. So once we reach the bottom,
bad?
Yeah, once you reach the bottom, once you get to the actual map, guess what the map is?
Pain, suffering.
If you play
map where you basically can grind Azura. And introducing something that no one ever wanted to see again, and the only time it's introduced. Boost. The Fog of War.
To explain the Fog of War is essentially, it limits your field of view to a person's, I think it's based off their accuracy or their skill or something. Essentially, it cuts out your vision to only about a few squares around you, or any unit, and you can't see anything outside of it. Although, characters like thieves have increased vision. Although, here's the problem with Fog of War. The enemy doesn't have the restrictions. The enemy can still see fine. Essentially,
in the end, the only time you can tell what the hell's there is by walking into it.
Or by the camera moving over and showing, like, enemies spawning in, or a healer healing somewhere, or something like that.
Yeah. You've basically found the...
I mean, and here's the thing. It would make more sense if the enemy couldn't see as well, because that's how a fog in actual warfare actually works, no one can see a damn thing. But no. Yeah, I can see just fine.
Yeah, and they know exactly where you are. Luckily, this is the only time they use the Fog of War.
In the entirety of Fates, although even then, it's not only a Fog of War, more like there's a bunch of one-tile spots that you can go to, and one is a decoy and warps you back to the beginning of the room, because it's separating a bunch of rooms. The other one opens up the next room and path, is showing off more enemies. It's a little weird. I don't really trust it. It's Fog of War, but not.
It's just dumb.
Now, I would like to note, in this chapter, there are two things you need to know. Firstly, there are 6 chests, and there are 6 chest keys with which you can get from dark enemies. The items are Killing Edge, which is one of the best weapons in the entirety of Fates, the Killing series, because killing weapons literally just give an increased amount of increased critical, and weapons don't have weapon uses anymore. So why would you not use a Killing Edge on a class that already has good crits, like for instance a Sword Master? The other equipment in this is a Rescue Staff, which essentially it's the user's magic divided by 2 range, and you can call like characters. Mend, a higher level heal staff, an Armor Slayer, which is what it sounds like, a Steel Sword, which I'm not really sure whether they give you one, and 5,000 gold. Also, you could Gunter, but it's Gunter. He's even worse than in Conquest.
Yeah.
He is the series' worst Jagan.
And the sad part is, he's a cool Jagan. Like, his personality, his design, it's cool. He's rad. But, why do you have to suck?
He just sucks, and the fact that he can only support with the main character makes him even less viable. Seriously, any other great one you could possibly get is better than him. Hell, Frederick is better than him. Although, that's not saying much because Frederick is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, chapter 8. Trader's Brand.
This one, I believe, we're heading to that Hoshidian fort.
Fort Jinya. Essentially, Korin realizes, wait, we have to get both Hoshido and Nora on our side to stop the Akanos Silent Dragon. By the way, the big bad behind the whole thing is a dragon called Anakos, who also has a dildo for a head. I'm not kidding. Look him up.
Let's just not go into that
yet. Anyway, the chapter is essentially, well, Yukimura. Well, I don't trust you because you just ran off. And in it, something great you can tell me about. Posh. Yeah, this is okay. This is the start of the biggest problem in the entirety of Fates, Revelations. There's some great danger happening, and Korin can't say where it is. So why would anyone follow him? Her. Them.
It's a main thing about trust, which I guess every character learns to have, though. I guess the biggest trust exercise is everyone jumping in the fucking bottomless canyon.
Yeah, by the way.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about the different characters' reactions to jumping in the bottomless canyon. Can you imagine like the fucking Awakening crew's reaction to that?
Oof.
We gonna do this? I mean, we jumped into a portal in time, so I think this isn't the worst thing we've done.
But it's bottomless.
Well, I mean, what else are we supposed to do?
Boy, shut up. What do you have to lose at this point? The old guy said this is where he was. By the way, Odin, Selena, and Lazo actually know about Akanos and the whole problem. They just never bring it up because it's DLC.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to go into great detail about those 3 maps because I actually like them.
Yep. So we'll worry about that later. For now,
mostly because those three are my favorite child units.
Yep. For now, let's talk about Fort Jinya. Another simple map and another simple pain in the ass.
Essentially, the game tells you to how to explain this. You have to go.
Well, you're fighting against Yukimura for one.
Yeah, and I'd like to know
with
he's a mechanist, Orochi, and Saizo, I think. Essentially, you have to go throughout the map, and there are a couple of dragon veins that allow you to get heal tiles for an area and some chests. It's fairly simple.
Oh yeah, we also have Kaze for this chapter.
No, no, not yet. I don't think so.
Well, we don't have him for this chapter, but we get him this chapter.
Okay, anyway, essentially it's go throughout Fort Jinya, which is really small, killing enemies, getting the chests, which have a Killer Lance and a Worm Slayer, and then kill Yukimura.
After defeating your Kimura, her Saizo attempts to fucking suicide bomb you.
And then Sakura,
no, seriously,
he does. Like literally, his on-map portrait starts burning with flames, and then Sakura says stop. He stops the confusion, and I think she slaps him, or she does something that makes Saizo a little shocked. Then.
I mean, if I was slapped by Sakura, I'd be definitely confused and shocked.
Yeah, because Sakura isn't in the slapping type. Anyway, at the end of the chapter, you get 4 units, which is amazing. Firstly, you get Sakura, so yay, finally you have a healer. Secondly, you get Kaze. Oh good, a ninja, that'll be useful, especially with Lock Touch. And you also get Hana and Tsubaki. And once again...
Samurai, good. Tsubaki, no.
No. Hana is good because even though her HP is abysmal, as I repeat, like my 2020 Hana in Revelations only had 33 HP, and that was with an angelic robe, which increases HP by 3, I think, or 5.
She's good.
She's still powerful because she has a lot of strength, skill, and crits. And Tsubaki is bad
She's just essentially the definition of glass cannon.
Yeah, and Tsubaki is bad because his unique skill only works when he's at full health, which that's really not gonna happen after like the first 2 turns.
Yeah, unless you keep him topped off, which really, if you're doing that, you're wasting a lot. Especially when you have other Pegasus Knights that are coming in that are better. Especially talking about Shigure, or as I like to call him, yeah, you're alright, kid.
Yeah, he's alright. Anyway, okay. My internet just decided to reload the page for me, so it gives me a moment. There we go. The next chapter is called Wanderer.
This one, I believe, is... I think we're in... Oh yeah, we're in that one.
Essentially.
Oh god, we're in that one.
Essentially, guys, remember that chapter in, I think it was Conquest, where you had a bunch of narrow pathways and wind every 3 or 4 turns? Same thing here.
Yep.
Although this
time everyone's weaker, kind of.
And so are the enemies. Although, at this point, I'm looking at the script. Garen is trying to kill you, and Elise realizes, well, crap, I have to go help him. Also, at the start of the chapter, Iago just puts on some sort of glamour on 2 Wind Tribe people, and they get cut down because everyone thinks they're faceless. And then
This is the same thing that happens in Birthright, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting a repeat twice over.
I'd like to know that Fuga actually isn't too angry much, just confused because you have the Yato, why are you killing people? Essentially. And at the end of the chapter, by the way, Fuma says, go find the Azumo, go find the sage and then I'm on your side now. By the way, I'd like to note, this is one of the few, Revelations is the only time where you can actually get Fuga earlier, because in Conquest...
Well, it's more like Revelations is the only path you can get Fuga.
Well, yeah, because to get Fuga, you need hot springs.
And he's a late game unit. Similar to Izana and Ana, and Yukimura.
He's hard to get because you need to have the hot springs at level 3, which you can't even get level 3 stuff in my castle until like at least chapter 18. And the hot springs isn't high priority because it's essentially a joke place. It's essentially there for jokes, which I'll explain when we get to my castle.
Jokes and sometimes a romantic scene.
Or you pissing off the girls. If you're a boy. By the way, the enemy is Fuga, who is a master of arms, and he's very powerful.
Yeah. Doesn't really hold back either, so he's gonna kick your ass 6 ways from Sunday.
And he's probably going to at least get one of your characters dead. Because you can use all three weapon types, although he doesn't have any ranged weapons. The items you can get is a dual katana, a psychic, and 10,000 gold. Along with a couple of clubs, some vulneraries, a sun festal, and a heart seal from Fuga. Which have we talked about what heart seals do?
I don't know. Well, no,
okay.
We haven't.
Essentially, a heart seal allows. One second.
I know what Heart Seal does. Basically, the simplest way to explain Heart Seal is that it allows you to class change into whoever your bonded partner is. This either being an A+ support, which can only be for one certain person, or their marriage partner.
So yeah. And then chapter 10 is Voice of a God.
Oh boy, where the hell are we now?
Give me a moment. Oh yeah, this place. I love this chapter.
Where are we?
We're in Izumo. Essentially, remember how Zola kind of hid himself as Izana already? He does it again in this one. Although this time it's Gunter who's saying he's an imposter. But this chapter is special, and I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna be happily about this for a minute. Essentially, Zola tosses an ice bomb at a town in Izumo, and you have to break through the ice to get to him. But it's not as simple as it seems, because here's the thing. You have to have one character whack the ice, and in the ice are enemies. And most of these enemies have good stuff. Like, really good stuff. It's essentially a treasure hunting map. But the treasures are guarded by a bunch of rude people.
Simple but easy to deal with.
I'm going to list off all the items you can get from this chapter. They're dropped. Master Seal, Heart Seal, Iron Sword, 2 Iron Lances, Iron Axe, Iron Shuriken, Iron Bow, Hand Axe, Steel Lance, Mojnor Tome, Arm Scroll, Energy Drop, Secret Book, Bloom Festal, Sun Festal, Mend, Vulnerite, Concoction, Elixir, 5,000 gold, Goddess Icon, Talisman, Draco Shield, Speedwing. That sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot of good stuff. It's because it is. It's just. Mwah. I love that chapter because it's just so fun. Whenever I play that, I always make sure to get every single little bit of ice. It's nice. Anyway.
Always a good choice. But then comes our next. Then comes the plot. Oh boy, the plot, and it's.
You got this.
Alright, so basically after being Zolo, Leo comes out of nowhere and it's just like, look, I'm gonna murder your sorry ass 6 race from Sunday, but Corrin is like, no, he is people! And people die when they are killed!
Thank you.
Build. Okay, fine. You know what? Fine, Corin. I'll spare him. But you deal with him. I ain't taking him back.
Essentially,
So basically, you now have Solo on your team.
but not actually on your team. He's your prisoner.
He's just pretty much there. And then you go talk to Hana. And Anna's like, "What's up?"
I love Izana because he's just so...
And then you get one of the greatest lines in all of Revelations, Haitians or fates in general. Almighty gods, what's up?
Yeah, no, Izami is... He does not deserve to be in Fates. He should have been in Awakening.
He could have been in any game. Like, seriously, I would have appreciated him in any game, because that is like... he's the best.
Izami is... He is good.
He
deserves far more than this.
He deserves far more than what he got, and what he got was death.
Yeah, no, he dies at the end of this chapter.
Yeah, because apparently using his almighty Revelations powers, even though he used them before in Conquest and Birthright, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
And they had no adverse effects.
Just chalk it up to Revelation.
But now the moment he uses them here, he now does have adverse effects.
And dies.
Yep, and that's the last we see of him. But he goes out wishing he could party more.
Which, to be fair, I think the gods will let him party in the afterlife. And hey, Izami, I'm kind of jealous because now you don't have to deal with the annoyance that is Revelations. Like, legit, I'm actually jealous of him. Revelations is stupid. Oh. Anyway, next chapter?
Okay, I believe we're on a boat.
Nope, that's not for a little while, dude. Mutual enemies.
Alright, we're in Mukashu.
Ninja Town, essentially. Bradley,
Yeah,
I'd like to know. I'm gonna be
the
munching
chapter where we get.
I'd like to know.
There we get Saizo, Orochi, and Rinka.
And Kagero.
Not Rinka, but oh, wait. When the fuck do we get Rinka?
Not for a while.
Yeah, Kagero and. Oh no! Wait, no. Okay, wait.
By the way, I'd like to know.
Oh my god! I forgot old lady murderer's name.
Renka.
Rinka. Okay, literally that is so close to the actual name.
I'd like to know if I'm eating now, so I may be a little bit more quiet.
All right, so simple things about this chapter. It's the exact same as it was in Birthright. Literally the exact same. Like, it's actually like stupid how exactly the same it is. Like, you might as well.
I'd like to know even the enemies are the same with the same stats and positions and everything.
You might as well be watching a rerun of your favorite show.
Also, Draven is now playing Grand Order. Oh wait, I can hear it.
Yeah. I can do two things at once. And basically, the real gist of this plot is do the same thing again, and if you're feeling a little bit fun and spicy, you can let Saizo kill the boss and get an amazing and get at a dialogue that actually makes me kind of enjoy Saizo, because dude will fucking insult you in your death.
And it's not really that bad too, because the only thing that Kotsura drops is a steel shuriken, which you can buy pretty easily at this point, I think.
Yep, so nothing really wrong with that. You're pretty much fine to do what you want.
The only annoyance of this chapter is that there's a master seal in a chest behind Kotaro, so you have to use like a flyer to get to it.
Yeah, so really you don't have to worry about much. You're fine doing whatever with this chapter.
Just don't let the couch officers get you, because they will get you.
Yeah, trust me, we both know this for a fact.
Mm-hmm. Next chapter, Frozen Sea.
Let's see, this chapter is...
Camilla does bullshit and freezes the whole sea with Flora.
Yep. Yep, because she's trying to get you back.
She's essentially one step away from the deep end.
Yep. Yep, so you have to fight her and deal with her retainers, of course. Or so it's
I'd like to know.
So bad.
I'd like to know. She is the first Nor warrior you get in Revelations. Anyway, the big problem with this chapter is your characters are separated into groups of 2, and the top ship has Camilla, a bunch of bow users, and Flora on it, and Flora's the boss. And the bottom ship has Camilla, has Baruka, and Selena.
Oh yeah, right. They bring Flora.
Mm-hmm.
For some odd fucking reason. I mean, I guess she's sort of forced to work with you, but...
For those of you who don't remember, Felicia's older sister. Which we can go into in my base, because that's where you care.
Yeah, I mean, Flora's... Okay, we actually forgot about her for Conquest. She joins, then.
Nope.
No, she does. She does.
Nope.
She joins in Conquest. I know she does.
Nope, only for my base.
No, she joins as a unit.
No, she
Trust
doesn't.
me, she does. She does. I have confirmed this. I have confirmed this. As much as it seems like it isn't, it is, and she is there. It's just she's so... You really only unlock her via my base. I
said that! I said she's unlocked via my base.
But you never said... You really need to word yourself better.
Sorry, I am kind of eating, so my words are a little muffled.
Better wording helps understand what the fuck is going on.
Sorry. Checking the script to see if I missed anything.
But yeah, after getting past the gimmick of this one, which is basically you need to slowly make your way to each ship and deal with the enemies one by one.
And open up the ice bridges, which you need Dragon Veins to unlock.
Which you only have 2 units that can access Dragon Veins.
3.
3. 4? 4.
Azura.
4. You actually have 4.
Azura, Corrin, Sakura, and... I think that's
no one else.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I gotta keep forgetting that we don't have Elise yet.
Yet.
The big yet.
Now here's one problem. The Dragon Veins don't appear until turn 6, and the enemies are, well, on the bigger boats. So essentially the first 5 turns, you're doing jack shit with most of your units.
And it definitely shows that you're doing jack shit with most of your units. Look, we can't really deny that this chapter is, while fine and not bad, it's also boring.
If there's one thing I'd like to note, Firstly, you get Camilla, Baruch, and Selena, who are always good. And you learn a bit about Azura's mother, Queen Aret, from Camilla.
Apparently not the kindest woman.
No, actually, she was kind.
Oh no, wait, right. That was that was Camilla's mother.
Now, Camilla's mother was a jerk.
Well, after that nightmare spree,
We have a lost piece.
let's see. That one is
One of the best chapters from Revelation, bar none, minus one simple gimmick. Essentially, remember that Venice-like town where you had to go into an opera house to get out? Yeah.
Well,
no.
now you're actually in the town, and not in the fucking opera house.
And the town is being burned, is being destroyed, and hosts or North think it's the other side, and it's actually the Valites.
Yeah. And really only they, and really only Horn and Singer Girl will see that it is the Valites, because apparently no one can see the fucking bubbling. No one can apparently see the mixture of bubbles, and energy flowing off in that one area. Are you blind?
Which, by the way, has purple waves rolling down, and it's obviously a human form. Are you blind, people? You can see them fine in later chapters when you're fighting them, so why can't you see them now? Suspension of disbelief is not working anymore.
The suspension of disbelief was gone a long fucking time ago.
When you jump into the canyon. Anyway, this chapter is simple. You have to go around, you have to fight Hoshians and Norians.
Simple enough.
We're using some blocks to make pathways. One problem though. Firstly, this is where promoted units start showing up, and they're really hard to beat, because your forces split in two, and two, Realm and Danger on the field, and they're practically unkillable.
And
because here's the thing, their stats are equivalent to when you have to face them in the 1v1 duels, which is chapter like 25 for the other games.
in a sense, this is the part where where the game basically tells you better start grinding, mate.
No. Because you actually aren't supposed to beat them.
Yeah,
Ryoma even more so, because Ryoma has Scarlet as a partner.
Yeah.
Essentially, want to know how I beat this chapter? Have Camilla and my tankiest unit go straight through the middle and kill the boss, which is a berserker. So bad. Yeah, this chapter is really cool, but yeah, you really want to deal with it quickly so your units don't all die. And also, you get Kaden and Keaton in this chapter, so yay.
Yeah, you get both of them, and they're both rad.
Keaton more so.
And after
I don't know why. I don't know why. I've just found Kaden kind of lackluster in Revelations.
I mean, really, those two just show up randomly instead of their appearances, which are actually kind of endearing and fun.
Yeah, the two are kind of just half dead, and for some reason they're traveling together. I don't know. They're both leaders of their own tribes, so yeah.
I imagine Keaton got lost, and Austin and Kaden decided to help.
And Kaden has a problem with helping people.
Or maybe while Keaton was lost, he ended up helping Kaden out of a trap or something, and then Kaden owed him for life. Who the fuck knows? Really, this chapter, while good, is... Anyway, then we have the fun times and whimsical journeys that are my personal favorite thing. We're in
Important, yeah. Remember last time where I ranted and raved about Chapter 10 for a long time? Same map, but this time it's called Orders, and there's no defend for 12 turns. It's rout the enemy.
Yep. The better version, and it's definitely.
Before you
definitely...
even start, I'd like to know something. There's a lot of enemies, but they're actually pretty beatable. Here's the thing: you get 6 units in this chapter. You get you get Arthur, Elise, and Effie at the start of the chapter. So you already have another healer. And those two. I'm sorry,
and
but
then,
okay, before I even forget this, here's the problem with Revelations. It essentially becomes Fire Emblem Fates Royals Edition, because the Royals are the best ones you can use. Now, Elise is important, because guess who you can get by having Elise talk to them?
Benny and Charlotte. And let me tell you, get them.
They're good. They're actually useful for, like, the entirety of Revelations.
Like, seriously, if you need, a walking wall of pain,
and an axe that destroys everything, use them. I'd like to note their stats are higher than in Conquest, and they're lower level.
Might be due to the fact of where they are in the story or at the moment, but who knows.
Also, you get Silas, and here's the thing. While in the other two games, Silas is Silas is one of my best units, bar none. It helps as a paladin. He is very good against magic units. Oh hey, we have someone commentating, or who did commentate. Oops.
Huzzah!
Anyway, yeah, Silas is good, especially because he starts off at a really high level, so you can instantly make him a paladin. Also, at the start of the chapter, Xander and Leo start to question their father.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
Now.
Especially when he starts just maddeningly talking about, yeah.
And now, we have the Rainbow Sage.
Basically, this chapter is the same as the last ones, only the only difference here is you're fighting Valites, if I'm correct.
Well, no, you're fighting.
And
you're fighting
the
these
chapter
weird.
where you get Nyx.
You're fighting these weird clones, and by the way, we're talking about the sevenfold sanctuary where like there's a bunch of rooms and such. That one.
Yeah, and in this chapter, we have Nyx and
Shura.
Shura.
Yeah, Asura is his Japanese name.
That's a better name.
By the way, you also get your Jacob or Felicia, depending on which one you didn't get at the start.
Yep.
And then we have White Flames.
Now, this chapter, where are we now?
One sec, I'm chewing. Essentially, it's time to go to the bottom of this canyon.
Oh yeah, right.
One problem. Hans decided to show up, and we're in the fields that have pillars of fire everywhere.
But then, out of nowhere, after realizing that maybe you were telling the truth, Ryoma and Hinoka show up.
And Hinoka's retainers.
Wait, what about Takumi?
Also Scarlet. We got Takumi in the Mokusha chapter.
Oh yeah, he was captured as well.
Yeah.
Well, and then Naboro and Hinata showed up, and yeah, you get the point.
We forgot him because he unlike the other two games, he doesn't really do much.
He's just sort of there.
All his character went into Conquest and Birthright.
Yeah, and it's sad, but I mean, hey, at least it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So says me.
Also, it's at this point where you start realizing there's a lot of units. Like,
Yeah.
you get every single unit in this game, minus Izami and Scarlet. And that's like 70 units, and that's the big problem with Fates. Quantity over quality.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, and trust me, that's about to get it. That's about to bleed into something when we talk about supports.
Also, this chapter's gimmick is kind of fun. Can you explain it, Draven?
Okay, in simple terms, you use the power of the dragon veins to create more, to get rid of some flame pillars, but in the process you'll also make more flame pillars appear.
Essentially, it's a puzzle and a maze.
You have to get around it and pound it, and as another mentioning, there is indeed some chests and enemies that have loot, so you can prioritize how you feel like. Whatever makes you feel better about yourself.
Actually, there are no chests, just some dropped items.
Okay, well, still, prioritize however you feel like. Hans is a berserker still, and he's got a fucking axe, as per usual.
And a tomahawk.
Yep, and he's gonna throw that, and he's gonna fucking end your ass with it.
I'd like to know, in this version, tomahawk can only fire from 2 range.
Fun.
However, you can also just say, screw that, and since Ryoma is on the outside of the field and on the top like Hans, you can just have Ryoma beeline for Hans and end the chapter quickly.
Yeah, since not only does he have the weapon advantage, he's fucking Ryoma.
Although, why would you give up all that sweet EXP?
Yeah. That's the problem. Sort of have to pay attention.
Then,
What will you be losing in this scenario?
now, here's the big problem with this chapter. Right after it, you go straight into chapter 17, Black Flames. And you can't save or go back to my castle.
Yep. And what is this chapter dealing with? Well, you're fighting against everyone's favorite fucking asshole.
Iago. Now, this map is particularly annoying to me because there's a mountain in the center, and at the center of it is a ballistite, and there are 3 magic orbs at the bottom. You start at the top, and there are a lot of mages. Essentially, it's a rush to get to Iago before he kills you and sees. But you have to be careful because if you rush too fast, you're gonna lose all your units.
Yeah, because Iago's firing off some fucking orbs from this magical orb that he's got.
However, you do have one nice thing. On turn 2, from the right side, Xander and Leo will appear, and the turn after that, their retainers will show up. Now here's the problem. Leo is still Leo. Xander is actually good. And the retainers, besides Laszlo and to a degree Niles, they're all kind of too low level at this point.
Yeah. Luckily, you can pretty much grind at any point when you get back to my castle.
Mm-hmm. which is what I did. Because I wanted Lazo, damn it. I wanted Corrin to be the mother of Soleil.
Nothing wrong with that. I did that for my first playthrough of Conquest.
Anyway. Once you beat Iago, it's time to jump into the bottomless canyon. Every single person.
Okay, so... Okay, Corrin, I know, we put our trust in you, but this is maybe taking it a little too far.
He just jumped. He just jumped.
Are you... we can't go back to Nor, so might as well die here if it's death.
Are you sure about this? This is not going to end well.
Well, I mean, we either go back to Nor and face endless pain, or we jump and either have a 50-50 chance of us dying by the rocks, Ox in the Fall, or Corrin's telling the truth.
What are the Hoshins?
Either way, it's better than going back to Nor.
What are the Hoshins doing?
They just jumped in as well. Instantly.
Are you certain?
Well, except for Takumi. He had to be dragged in.
Makes sense. Are we certain that they're the smart ones? They seem pretty dumb. Except for him.
They're more like... obsessively loyal. Well...
Let's just jump.
Well, let's take a dive.
Geronimo!
Please, let there not be water at the bottom of this.
I think we'll die by the rocks first. Yeah, that's essentially me and Draven's take on the chapter. By the way, there's a CG of Ryoma and Xander shaking hands. It's very nice, actually.
It's very good because they set aside their differences. I understand that
at the start of all three games, they're at each other's throats, and now they're working together. But I repeat, they just all kind of jump in. It's my headcanon that most of the Hoshidans just jump in after Corrin, and whereas some people like Takumi and Rinka and Kozai actually are like, and Saizo are like, are we sure of this? You're coming. No. Don't know. And then the Norians are like, well, it's this or torture. Which one's better? Let's just jump. Hup! Yeah, that's my headcanon for why they all jump in. The Hoshins are stupidly loyal, and the Norians realize, well, it's torture or this. Which one's better?
At least if we're going to die, we die a quick death.
Yeah, because I mean, you people may not know this, but it's official. If you're falling and you hit a sharp rock, you're gonna die instantly, no matter where you get hit. I mean, unless you get hit in the legs. No, this is actually a fact. If you get hit anywhere above the waist, if you're falling and you hit something sharp and it's big enough, and it's anywhere above your waist, you will die instantly from the shock, the impact, and the cutting. So yeah, essentially, yeah, I repeat. Corrin jumps in, Azuro before him, the Hoshins jump because they can, while the actual smart ones have to be dragged in, and the Norians realize, well, it's torture or this. Let's just do this. Because essentially, all the Norians have betrayed Garen at this point, so...
Might as well.
And this chapter is called, and chapter 18 is called Veiled Kingdom. What is Veiled Kingdom, you may ask?
Welcome to Vala.
And this is why
population.
Everyone that's died. And this is why the game has been nicknamed Fire Emblem Fates Royals Edition. What do you do in this chapter? You have to activate 8 Dragon Veins spread throughout the map, guarded by all promoted units who have heightened stats, and then fight the boss.
We should also we also should mention something in particular. The specific... Okay, I gotta mention this.
The murder plot.
Yeah,
You see,
okay.
okay, I'm gonna say this.
Let me do this. I need to do this.
I'm sorry. Go for it.
I'm one of those people that actually gives a shit about Scarlet.
Ah.
Mainly because she is what I wish Hinoka was.
By the way, Scarlet is Ryoma's love interest.
She's a rowdy, upbeat person that will kick your ass 6 ways from Sunday, and actually makes Ryoma, and actually has a good friendship with Ryoma. It's wonderful. It's great. But what happens here is, after getting a crucial character development moment where you find out that she has a certain liking to flowers.
Essentially,
flowers for a reason.
Essentially, in Chibians pin a flower on their breast when they're about to propose. Ryoma jumps, Scarlet pins the flower on her, and then jumps in after. Subtle context is not subtle.
And with that, and thanks to that, when you jump, something comes out of nowhere and is just like, I'm gonna fucking murder the shit out of your sorry ass.
Because
and then Scarlet takes the hit.
And here's the thing. There's a little thing of the flower being cut. Now, this is important because when you get to it, Ryoma is in grief, and there's a question of who the hell did it? By the way, Korn is a suspect because Korn was one of the only people who saw the flower. The flower is the big part because the only people who could have actually done it is someone who saw her. The flower is important. We'll get to that when we actually get to who the murderer is, which I'm going to go into because that's important. Because that's actually important to me.
Well, for now, after getting through that chapter,
which by the way, the boss looks suspiciously like Azura. Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. Wink, wink. Are you getting the subtlety yet? Are you getting the subtlety of our plot yet, people?
Next up, we have Hidden Strings.
Okay. Fucking end me now. Here we go.
You guys remember chapter 15 of Conquest and that whole clone thing?
Well, we get it again!
Better this time.
Yeah. Because you actually get more units.
And you can pick them. Eight of them, in fact. Well, 7. And this map is interesting because the objective is to all out escape in 20 turns or defeat the boss. Now here's the thing. There are a lot of items you get dropped, so I'm going to label them off. Bolt Naginata, Magic Naginata, Practice Katana, Dual Club, Killing Edge, Killer Axe, Beast Killer, Do Yumi, Ragnarok, Bolt Axe, Hammer, Steel Club, Steel Blow, Steel Axe, Steel Katana, Steel Sword, Mend, Heart Steel, Front of Steel, 10,000 gold, and 5,000 gold times 2.
It's wonderful. And it's actually good because you have units you can use.
Yeah. It's actually a fun chapter.
But besides ending my life version 2.0, some more plot comes out of this. I think. Does more plot come out of this?
I don't remember.
Tell me honestly.
I honestly can't remember. I kind of started ignoring the plot at this point.
Well, let's just try to understand what we're going through. Well, let's just try to see where we end up from here, and I believe the next chapter is...
Seeds of Doubt.
Are we in a forest by chance?
I just can't remember. The wiki starts being really vague. I'm checking.
Well,
nope. Okay, here's the big thing. At the end of Hidden Strings, we rescue a kid called Anthony.
Oh yeah, and I think this is the part where we either run into a forest or we
No.
run into, or we run into the floating islands.
The chapter is this. That weird person from before with Veil Kingdom is back. Scarlet has been revived as a Valite, and there's a bunch of bridges, and there's a bunch of platforms that move every turn.
By the way, notion about Valites. By the way, notion about being turned to a Valite. You still have some of your conscience still there. This will become important when I discuss the DLC.
They are essentially zombies.
Yeah, with their conscience still remaining attached, though it's heavily suppressed. And let me tell you...
Although the only difference between how they look between when they're a Valite and not is they turn invisible with purple energies flowing through them, and they're all watery. Water is a big thing with Vala.
Yeah, and it might essentially be the fucking water tribe. In fact, it might have been.
Probably.
Just with its own fucking kingdom. But then we have the But then, as a recommendation, make Ryoma fight Scarlet. It's depressing, but you actually get a really good line out of it.
You do. Oh, by the way, this chapter is really annoying because there are a bunch of flyers, and you're stuck on the platforms, which move and return, and there's a bunch of chests. Because there is.
Yeah, but...
There's the strongest spear in the game, the Water Wheel, throwing sword, a Master Steel, and a Dragonstone Plus. 2 of them actually. Along with some super weapons and a Sun Festal from Dropped.
In a sense, prepare thine scavenging ability. You're going on a quest, Sonny Jim.
While trying not to get stabbed to death by arrows.
That's the best part of it. That's the best part of any adventure.
I'm going to stab you in the dick now.
Okay, maybe not that. Can we like tone down on the dick stabbing?
Fine. Anyway, I'd like to know there's this whole Anthony subplot, because next chapter is going forward and you reach Gyges, and then there's a couple of things before it. Essentially, Anthony tries to lead Corin into a trap. It fails because Corin trusts her friends. Yeah, no, this is why the Anthony subplot is a big reason why people really hate Corin, because Corin is a total idiot for walking into the trap. And also, here's the thing: Leo literally tells Corin, don't trust him. And do they listen?
No, because there's no way someone as young as that could ever betray anyone. Even though in total, I should mention something that Corin has seen young people doing some kind of cruel things.
Also, Anthony is the only Valite who seems to have a human form that's not watery.
Yeah.
By the way, at the start of the chapter, Anthony gets turned into a faceless.
I swear we're forgetting something.
No, it's Revelations. Besides, anyway, this chapter going forward is no. The chapter you're thinking of is the next one. I checked.
Okay. All right. Good.
Anyway, going forward, the big thing about going forward is there are a bunch of blue and red tiles on the floor. Do you want to know what they do?
Well, they either promote or demote.
Blue demotes, red promotes.
And this basically becomes a semblance of what you're going to be dealing with for this entire chapter.
And
I should mention something funny is that despite Titan panicking and maybe thinking that you might get your demote, the floor does not affect your units.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
For some fucking reason.
Yeah, I don't know either. It would have been actually cool to do that, but here's the big thing. Firstly, You can switch the tiles around with Dragon Veins, and secondly, it's either do you want to just kill a bunch of really weak enemies quickly because they're really low level, or do you actually want to get experience? I went with the latter.
Always a good thing to get some experience in you.
And there are a bunch of chests, 2 which are in the same room as Anthony. And Anthony doesn't have to sit around and be patient.
He's gonna fucking walk up and smack your sorry ass.
Yeah, I have Anthony chase. I think it was... might have been Kaze when I did this. Essentially, there are a couple of items. Firstly, there's the SS rank axe, which can be stolen by a Master Ninja on turn 20. Boots, which increase movement, by the way. An arm scroll, a barbed shuriken, and a master seal, which can also be stolen by the ninja. It's
which at this point, if you don't have, here's an honest thing, if you don't have the fucking, if your shop does not have like master seals at this point.
Upgrade it,
why
damn
have
it.
you not been upgrading your... Yeah, upgrade your fucking shop, unless you're playing, like, fucking legit hard mode.
Yeah, no, we'll go into that later. Also, here's the thing. You can just kind of let the Master Ninjas take the stuff, because the SS rank weapons, firstly, only a few classes can actually equip them. Because SS rank requires stuff like Master Ninja for the shuriken, Berserker for the axe, Swordmaster for the sword. That's all I know. That's all I actually know.
Berserker, not a bad. Berserker. Hey, you have Charlotte, so that'd be good. It's just
like every weapon that is above the steel rank weapons, essentially above rank B or above, it gives massive stat downs after you use it. So why would you use it? Like, the reason why Hans in Birthright wasn't that hard because he had that weapon and it made him really weak. Why would you ever use the SS rank weapons? Anyway, chapter 22, Memories. So remember that weird figure who looks like Azura that has been trying to kill us this whole time? It's Azura's mother turned into a Valite.
Yeah, and she's
very angry.
Yeah?
Now, I'm gonna let Draven talk about this one because I think he wants to, but before I do that, I'll mention the items you can get.
Oh, no. I wasn't going to talk about it. I was just remembering it because I was like, what the fuck was this?
Okay, so firstly, there are 4 chests which hold the an Excalibur. I think it's the Macromanic Tome, a Beast Rune, a Silver Dagger, and a Recover Staff. Essentially, in this chapter, you can either go around the top and bottom, or you can use the Dragon Vein to burn through the wood, get the items, kill enemies, and beeline for Arette. Although Arette is pretty hard because she has, I think, the SS rank tome, and it hits really hard.
It will wreck your shit.
So don't bring anyone who has low resistance near her, because she will probably one-shot them. And then Arette gets killed, but not after giving Azura one last hug, which I admit made me a little teary-eyed.
And then after that chapter, it's
Arette Undone.
Our final fight with her?
No, let me check. Oh, we made a mistake.
What? What happened?
1 second. Oh yeah, no. Here's what we did accidentally. So, Arret
What?
Undone. This is where Scarlet is. My bad. Oops.
To be fair, I don't blame you.
So sorry. Seeds of Doubt was actually different. With Seeds of Doubt, there are a bunch of stone bridges that shrink and grow out depending on which dragon vein you use. This is where the floating platforms are. So we actually explained. Explained chapter 2.
Right,
so we accidentally explained Arret Undone when we were supposed to explain Seeds of Doubt.
You know what? It doesn't matter. We're already fucking here. The chapter is stupid anyway.
Draven doesn't like it because he hates the platform things. He ranted about it.
No,
you ranted about it for like a full 20 minutes, dude.
It's just stupid. There's just so many things that are stupid because it's just so. I mean, the flying units aren't that great besides Camilla, Illa, and that's it.
Next chapter, chapter 24, is Days Lost. And here, do you guys want to know my nickname for this chapter? Fire Emblem Fates. Fire Emblem Fates. Metal Gear Solid. It's funny because I've never actually played a Metal Gear game.
The free. I also just go with. Oh, it's just. Fucking hell! This chapter is.
Essentially.
Oh god! This chapter is also showing how stupid Corrin is.
At the start of this chapter, guess who shows up?
It's Queen Mikoto.
Your mother.
What?
But she's dead.
She's. Or was supposed to be dead.
No,
she's
actually
out here.
Spoilers, she is actually dead and she wants to kill you.
You basically have to go through a stealth mission style objective.
I'm going to explain this. I'm going to firstly bring the least amount of units can. I recommend 8 with 4 of them being cavalry. And put up the enemy's attack range, which you can use by using the X button. Essentially, you have to go around the. This is actually a callback to a Path of Radiance chapter with the same idea. You have to go around a bunch of unpromoted units' attack ranges, and there's 4 rooms, and as long as you can get through all of them, and by that I mean as long as you can make sure to get through all of the unpromoted units, you get to stealth your way to victory. And Mikoto tells you which door to go into, because she's your mother. Also, although there are chests which you should get, essentially there is like a few parts where you have to be lucky, so you actually do have like blind spots for the enemies. Although here's the thing, spoilers: the last door, don't go into the one Mikoto suggested, because if you do, it will reveal a trap that does 99 damage to all of your units. And then Mikoto reveals herself with the other door, and she's about to kill you. The chapter is only long because if you choose to go stealth. If you choose to go guns blazing, it's apparently fairly easy. I've always done the stealth chapter.
Yeah, I'd just do it as well for just the hell of it.
It's a fun chapter.
It's a lot more fun.
Also at the end of the chapter, the Hoshin Royals get a nice heartwarming moment with their mother.
Did we say heartwarming? I mean a realization that everything is kind of stupid.
By the way, there is actually a reward for doing stealth. You get 10,000 gold, a master seal, and some boots.
Lovely. I can give one of my units some nice high heels.
Well, moving up. Anyway, the next chapter. I need to talk about this one because this is where I got frozen on my first playthrough.
Oh yeah, right. Hey, where Sumeragi showed you the legendary technique of getting your ass whooped.
Blades drawn. Firstly, Sumeragi, the Hoshin Royal's father, is back, and he wants to kill you. And there's actually a CG of him flashing a terrifying slasher smile because his teeth are jagged like a shark's. Now here's the thing about this chapter: you have to go to 3 dragon veins and unlock them to break 3 chains to get to Sumeraga's chamber. There are little rooms that move.
You are essentially in a giant fucking elevator.
That goes
left we're in a giant fucking elevator.
That goes left and right, except up and down. Problem: you only have 1 or 2 units to guard the entrance, and the enemies can quickly swarm you when you open the doors and kill you. Had to restart the entirety of my walkthrough. Playthrough to even win. By the way, you're probably noticing you're going through all these chapters awfully fast, guys. What's up?
Well, because we don't have to stop every now and then to talk about a new unit.
That, and we don't like Revelations that much. And
I mean,
honestly,
look, I'm fine with it, but it's just actually the most stupid thing in existence.
And the maps, it's fair to see than here, because we can't do them justice.
Like, here's the thing about Revelations. When I think about it, it works. It just goes like this. It's not. What's the word I'm looking for here? There's like a
It's
good
not
word.
birthright level.
It's not birthright level where it's boring, but the problem is it doesn't reach Conquest's level of stupid that it's fun.
It's just.
Fun.
It's stupid, and well, I admit the map design and ideas are really cool, and the best gimmicks in the whole series. Fire Emblem has always prided itself on story that deals more of gray and gray morality. Fates doesn't have that.
No, you just literally have the stereotypical good and evil. It's just that. Like, seriously, when it came, like, this is the problem with Awakening, but at the same time...
Okay, here's the thing. Even Awakening had that in a few points, because it at least had a couple of gray and gray moments. It wasn't the whole thing wasn't gray and gray, but there were still parts where, are we actually doing the right thing? Which is essentially the entirety of the Volume campaign is this. Fates doesn't have that, and the reason why we like Conquest the most is because that's where it actually becomes more gray and gray. Because you're obviously not you're not on the good guys, but you're not bad guys either.
Yep. Yeah. Which is great.
But Revelations is just.
Just Revelations in a sense can just be worded as you spent $20 on this. Great job. Great job there. You fucking idiot.
It's not worth it.
Like, look, I can say with certainty that I don't hate Revelations. It's fun. It's stupid. It's not bad. It's just the problem that it just feels like such a waste of time.
Side note, but Sumeragi has the SS rank blade, Hagakure blade,
and he ain't gonna fucking go down easily, Sonny Jim. And let me tell you what,
I one-shot him.
My joke was gonna lead into that, but I thought that maybe it was actually difficult for you.
No,
due to the fact that...
No, Blades Drawn is not hard because the boss. Blades Drawn is hard because the map layout.
Fair enough, I'm just laughing at that because, man, he just got his fucking ass whooped.
Yeah, I had Kaze run up and Kaze got off a double crit.
Just Kaze walks up. Fine, just Sumeragi. Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle he'll be, and then he just gets crit.
I don't care, King Sumeragi. You are dead to me. Slash slash. I found it oddly fitting that Hoshiden killed Sumeragi. Call me dark, but it's me, it's Draven. We're not nice people.
Yeah.
Chapter 26. The Valley King. The whole murder plot finally comes to a head, and guess what? The thing is,
well, let's put some deduction around. Now as you're starting to try to figure out who could be the culprit, you start thinking about things, and Hunter, being the helpful soul, tries to help you figure it out.
he mentioned Scarlet's flower. Now
So then you make it to the yield. So then you make it to the yield throne room, and there's nothing.
Akanos is nowhere to be found.
So this confuses everyone until Hunter jumps to a bit of an accusation, saying that Corrin is the one that killed Scarlet.
Now here's the thing. Corrin gets all smart, and this is one of the reasons why I want to punch Corrin into a wall and bang their head on it several times. Because it's pretty obvious who did it. Corrin says, "But Gunter, no one, you couldn't have possibly known that Scarlet had a flower because you jumped, because she didn't put it on until after everyone had jumped." Well, you see, that is
to say,
You killed her! Ryoma, how dare you! I will slay you down, you fiend!
Ryoma will wait patiently for his revenge.
No, he actually does try and kill Gunter. And
I'm
then,
sorry, I just had to.
And then Gunter says, "Fuck you. Spang! I am Anakos."
And we get his at the trademark evil laugh from our favorite uncle.
By the way, there's a really cool CG of him just sitting on the throne with his hand on his fist, and dark energy is just oozing off him, and he has the most evil smile. And now we can actually go into why Gunter is like this. Draven?
Alright, so I'm gonna give you let me give you the simple rundown, and also a detailed rundown. Gunter was offered to be King Garen's retainer.
And get dragon blood.
Yeah. However, Gunter refused because he had a family that he wanted to care for. He cared about them with his life, and he didn't want to lose them. However,
that didn't work out too well.
Yeah, because Garen was like, "Well, fuck you then," and fucking squared up and burned that house down and killed his family. And then Gunter was pretty much the most bitter man into that day.
And Gunter was unfortunately kind of forced into Garen's service for several reasons I don't want to bring up. Essentially, Gunter wants to kill Garen as revenge because he's pissed off that Garen killed his family.
Yeah.
And Gunter was going to try and use Corrin to do it. Although at some point down the line, Anakos, who for some reason has the ability to like sense hatred and anger in people, was able to reach out to Gunter and ensnare the old man with his creepy little claws. Essentially, Gunter's being used.
And now we're here. Everything is sort of weird. Look, we can't. Look, it's. Yeah, so basically, you gotta fight with Hunter. It's simple. He's a great knight.
Oh,
night.
wait, let me look at that. Oh, right. Here is something. By the way, he has immunity to all status ailments and he has dragon skin. And there's a bunch of there's a blessed bow, brave axe, brave lance, brave sword. Which, by the way, the Revenants are actually kind of crap in this game for several reasons. Rescue,
Yeah.
Beaststone plus, Fortify, Nosferatu, Calamity, and Crescent Bow. And by the way, you obviously can't use Gunter in this chapter, but why would you? Now, here's the thing about this chapter. Here's something very interesting about this chapter. Corrin and Azura have a 3x3 square with them in the center tile around them that heals you. That is essentially a moving heal tile, and it moves wherever Corrin moves. The heal tile also moves. And remember, it's 8 spaces all around Corrin in a big old circle. And Azura has one too, and they're powered by Mikoto and Arret respectively. Essentially giving you giving you a bit of a moving heal tile. And use it, please.
You're gonna need it.
Especially because the room is wide open with 2 corridors on the side. With a bunch of chests, and there's a bunch of pools that infinitely spawn enemies. In other words, this is where Revelations gets stupid.
Yeah, okay. Well, after defeating the fucking almighty Lord of all things, voiced by DC Douglas Gunter.
Yeah, I repeat, this is essentially where everything gets really dumb. Now, I repeat, it gets really dumb. The next chapter is actually kind of fun, though, which I'll let Draven continue with his explanation.
So the plot continues, and Gunter is still pissed off, and sort of just proclaims that he used Corrin, and Corrin is like, so what? But you still cared for me, and you were still there for me.
Gunter actually did kind of care for him.
So after winning the old man's heart back, he joins you and is ready for some fucking booty blasting of this fucking ancient dragon.
The big old mask thing that has been sitting at the back of the room wakes up.
And let me tell you, it's not happy.
I'd like to know.
It's pissed off,
also,
it's paranoid, and it wants to kill you.
I'm gonna bring this up into more detail when we get to the Before Awakening chapters, but Arnikos kind of went insane about 1,000 years ago. And as we've seen with the 2 dragons in Shadows of Valentia, Grima to a degree, when dragons go mad, they essentially turn into forces of nature.
Essentially, I think. I think there's more than just essentially. That's just pure fucking madness.
The map is the same as the last one, but there's one big difference. There is a map. There's 2 giant blocks of rubble on the side, which essentially gives you a 3-square choke point, where you can have where the enemies can fall into, have your bulky units. For me, that was Benny, Corrin actually, and Xander. Start wailing on them, and then have some characters behind them that can use ranged weapons, and just start taking them down.
The most fun option.
It's essentially play defensively. I actually kind of like playing defensively, because when you play offensively, you're gonna get slaughtered. Playing defensively isn't fast, and it can be annoying, but in the end, it's the better option that's safer and kind of fun. Although, if you don't have someone like Benny or Xander, good fucking luck.
that's just one thing. For now, we have the rest of the things, which is a giant pile of. Oh, good lord! Someone help us. All right, so let's talk. So let's talk about what happens after you beat the masked dragon thing. As a detail about fighting him, whenever he tries to attack you, his mask will break off and open, revealing something.
I'll just put this simply, it's really unsettling.
Yeah, I think you see fucking eyes. That's all you fucking see.
Now, and once you beat that thing...
Then comes in the secret tag team partner for Anankos. Oh, wait, never mind. He just ate Garen. Essentially, getting a blessing from the old dragon essentially means you have his essence and a lot of his power.
Akanos takes that back from Garen by eating him and transforms into the dildo dragon. And for some reason, the area changes to space with a platform on it.
I think it's probably supposed to be the night sky, but I guess since it's been a while, but it could also probably be that
the deep realms.
Yeah, I mean, it could also be the fact that since this is the first time he's gone back to his original form in so long.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
the chapter.
But after getting your ass whooped,
it's time for the final chapter, which is a lot like Awakenings in that it's just Anankos, and he summons some very powerful Valads at the beginning, of like every 3 turns or 2 turns.
Yeah, but through the plot of this, I need to explain the plot a little bit. After getting your ass whooped, and after your siblings taking some hits for you, or you end up unlocking the power of, what was it fucking called again?
The Omega Yato.
Oh yeah, right, the Omega Yato. Fucking...
So you know that weapon that Korn uses in Smash, the Yin Yang Chainsaw Sword?
Yeah, that thing that literally does not. That thing looks more Aztec than Japanese.
That's the Omega Yato.
It's stupid, but I guess it's kind of rad.
I like how it looks. The chainsaw thing's cool. Now,
yeah.
The chapter, disregarding the Valates, which you really shouldn't, because they're actually pretty damn powerful.
Just don't ignore the Valates. Just kind of pay attention to them, keep an eye on where they're going, and you'll be fine.
And they hit hard. Now, Anankos, firstly, you have to smack his claws. Or hands, which have like 60 health.
Shouldn't be too hard to bitch. So it should be too hard to bitch slap the shit out of him.
And then Anankos' head, which has been looming over the battlefield, leans down, and he's now there ready to fight. And essentially have Korra being in the center the whole time and smack him hard. Then it's time for the second form,
where he becomes a ball.
Essentially, Anankos' dragon body gets destroyed, and the thing that was in his mouth, which is essentially a fancy ball with eye things all over it, comes down and have to whack it.
Is it weird that I think the ball thing is essentially like Grima's curse emblem that he leaves when you defeat him in Shadows of Valentia?
Kind of is. Oh, by the way, I'd like to mention...
I guess it's...
Here's something funny about Anankos. When his hands or his head attack back, a tree forms on his head. For some reason. Like, I'm not kidding. An actual tree is like pops up on his head and then he whacks you.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
What the fuck? Is this allowed?
And
is this allowed?
Anankos dies, and everyone lives happily ever after.
You get a nice cutscene where Hoshido and Hito and Nor settle their differences.
And
Difference is, you get
I like to note, for the entirety of this cutscene, I was gagging.
It's just too fucking sappy. It's not even sappy. It's just disgustingly.
The thing is, it's nice, but it's beyond sappy. It's just like, oh my god, shut up. What is this? A 5-year-old's TV show? I hate it. I hate that ending.
Well,
And I swear I can hear Xander and Ryoma's voice actors gritting their teeth like, why are we doing this again? What is the point of this ending? Like, I swear I can hear them grit their teeth while they're saying the lines.
oh yeah, and we almost forgot something. Korn is now the ruler of Vala.
Yeah, for some reason.
No one lives there.
Vala's gonna be dead within a week.
I mean, look, Korn is odd and kind of off, but they can make it. If with some help, they can make a good.
I know
something.
I know we've seen. If for anyone who doesn't know, who has actually seen Korn in action, we maybe think we're being too harsh on them, but they're just so.
Look, as a personal thing, we don't hate Korn. We just know they're stupid.
And here's the thing. At the start, I could accept it because they're naive and they've been stuck in a tower their whole life. But by the time chapter 15 rolls around, they should at least know that they're not this stupid. Also, why are you letting the person who has been trapped inside a tower, cut off from the outside world for 15 years, lead the army?
Because they show great tactical promise.
Promise! You know, they tried to combine the lore character, the MC, and the dragon character all into one, and it just makes Korn annoying.
Alright, well, that was Revelations. Now we can talk about the DLC.
By the way, I'd like to note, Korn in Warriors is the female one, and I think she's actually smarter in that one. Because she doesn't talk as much. Because she doesn't talk as much. She's actually pretty quiet. Also, where is this bullshit? How come 3 of the damn pieces are from Fates? Yeah, I'm not that big. I don't like Warriors story that much. It's really stupid. I only play it because it's a Manga Warriors game in Fire Emblem flavoring.
Yeah, it's nice, but let's try to talk about this. Okay, so as a note to anyone who's watching this, I have to take over commentary on this because I'm the dumbass that got the DLC. Well, not all of the DLC, but I know the plot of all of them. Let's go
Xenologue in order.
Let's start with the Before Awakening stuff, because that's probably the most important stuff to talk about.
That's Xenologue 1.
Alright, let's hit it.
Essentially, Corrin and Jacob or Felicia, some Valites run into a deep realm and end up in the Awakening world right before Crom and Lissa meet Robin, and you have to help kill some Valites with them. And I like to note, you can have Jake. Okay, several things. Firstly, you can have at least a Sakura talk with Lisa, and it's adorable. You can have the two lords talk with each other, and you can have Selena talk with Crom and Odin. And I know Odin and Lazo can also talk with Crom. And with Odin and Lazo, they're both kind of like, oh crap, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. Selena kind of subtly nudges Crom into talking with Cordelia. It's nice.
My personal favorite one is depressingly Kale Dory. It's so fucking. It's so fucking bad because she ends up actually having a crush on Crom.
Also, I'd like to note that uh
Well, it's an interesting note.
Wait, you
Crom
can-
actually knows who Corrin is.
they label Hoshido and Nora as mythical kingdoms. And by the way, I'd like to note you can have Jacob and Frederick talk. It's as amazing as you expect.
They literally have a fucking competition at who is the better butler, basically.
And it's awesome. Anyway, the rewards are very nice for being a simple chapter. Firstly, every time you clear the chapter, you get a pebble, which is a 1 might throwing weapon. However, for the first time clear, if you have all 3 of your allies survive, you get the Heroes brand and the Exalts brand. What do those do, you say?
Well,
The Heroes brand allows you to give someone the Lodestar class, Marth's class.
and the Exalt's brand allows you to turn someone into a Great Lord.
I'd like to note the Lodestar class is male only, while Exalt is the Great Lord is female only. The Lodestar class, which actually I'm going to go into these two. The Lodestar class is actually really good because it gives you Dancing Blade, which gives away 1 strength but gives you 4+3 speed. Charm, which gives all allies an attack buff if they're within 2 squares. Dual Guardsman, which is what you'd expect, and Speed Taker, which gives you +2 speed whenever you kill an enemy, and it stacks. Also, thing is, the DLC classes go from levels 1 to 40, and if you give a promo unit, they'll start at level 20, and then how many levels they have. I gave Selena the Great Lord one, and at level 14, and she got all of the new skills like really quick. Sorry. Anyway, the Exalt brand gives you the Great Lord class, which the Great Lord is very nice. If I can scroll down, come on, don't do this to me. Firstly, it gives you Dual Striker, which is what you expect. Nope. Charm, same thing as last time. Aether, which is once again it's Aether. So you know it's Luna and Soul. And Awakening. Awakening, when HP is under half, hit rate, avoid rate, and critical evade +30. So pretty good. They're pretty good classes. By the way, Great Lord does give you access to lances, while Lodestar sticks you in swords. By the way, firstly, I gave Xander a Lodestar class and it was amazing. And secondly, guess what happens if you give Leo the Lodestar class?
Please don't tell me he actually gets better.
He becomes a blonde Marth.
Well, there's your first one.
Anyway, Xenologue 2 Beach Brawl. I actually think I have this one.
Ah, yes. I love this one. It's so... Basically, there's a competition between all of the royals. This can basically... Weirdly, out of all the Xenologues, this one can be considered canon.
Essentially, you pick one of the royals, and you're on their side, and you have to beat all the other royals. And by winning with that royal, you get a CG.
That is really fucking good.
I will explain. I'm gonna explain. Okay, firstly, I'm just gonna say them all. Xander is showing off his abs and wearing a simple beach pants and has a Lilith plushie. Ryoma is.
Here's another.
I think he's hunting for
There's
fish
in
a loincloth, essentially.
Yeah, there's a bit of a thing about Xander.
Leo's essentially using his cape to hide. Takumi is running towards the surf, and then the girls. I want to say these. Hinoka's whacking coconuts. Camilla is holding a drink on her side and wearing a very skimpy bikini, yeesh. Sakura is wearing a sundress and eating this actually really looking delicious fruit dessert thing. And Elise is in a one piece and she's making flower chains. It's adorable. I have unfortunately never beaten this one.
Yeah, because let me point out, it's actually really difficult. Like, it's actually really difficult because you only have access to 3 units.
The royal and their retainers. It's not easy.
And when we say not easy, we mean not easy.
The next one is Boot Camp. Isn't that like the EXP one?
Yeah, it essentially... Come in. Oh, fucking hell, I forgot I locked the door! Hold on.
Apparently Boot Camp is a bunch of people getting free to over ghosts, and it essentially allows you to grind EXP at a massive rate. It's also the only way to grind in Conquest. Can you tell I don't care much about these about Xenologs?
Okay. Yeah. Now back to where we were.
Boot Camp. I explained the basics.
Besides the basics of the EXP grinding, you get some nice dialogue.
Museum Melee is
the weapon grinding. Basically, where you can get all of the good weapons. You really don't get much else. That's it. Just weapons. And again, more dialogue.
Along with a bunch of, looks to be bosses.
Mm-hmm.
And finally you have Museum Melee, which is... Sorry, Ghostly Gold, which is gold grinding.
Yep.
Then we have Royale. What's that one?
This one I actually don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be.
Stop, I'm looking. Oh. Well, this is... Essentially... Firstly, it's Beach Brawl, but without the CG. Instead of that, you get a stat boosting item depending on whose team you got. And if you won with the Norse, you get an Ebon Wing, and if you won with the Hosters, you get a Dread Scroll. Putting it simply, an Ebon Wing makes you a Dark Flyer. You know, the magic flyer class from Awakening, which a Dark Falcon in this. I've never actually used one. Essentially, it's the same as its original classing in Awakening, but you get Gale Force. The only point that is for Gale Force. The other, Dread Scroll, however, which I have gotten, gives you a Dread Fighter. Which, by the way, I like to note, Dark Falcons are female only, Dread Fighters are male only. What do Dread Fighters do in this game? Because they're actually quite a bit. Oh my god, I have to scroll down so much.
Are you sure they're male only? Because I swear I put one on Soleil.
It just said that. Male only.
Weird, I swear I put it on Soleil. Maybe I put it on Laszlo and didn't know.
It's male only for 14. Anyway, the Dread Fighter is not that good, I'll be honest. It's essentially a Master Ninja that can also use axes and gets a bunch of skills that lower that essentially weaken magic attacks, and also with giving you an attack boost on your turn. It essentially, if you want a speedy character that can use 3 different types of weapons and is pretty good and has skills that increase resistance on not through natural means. Use this class. It's a little bleh. Now, guess.
Do we actually get to the plot important ones?
Hidden Truce 1.
Here we go. I'll let you take this.
Essentially, a weird guy tells Severa, Owain, and Inigo, I need your help with something. Can you come to the military in a month? So they come, and then they're ambushed by Sumeragi and some Valites. I'd like to note, never actually beaten any of the hidden truths because they're really hard. Because to start, they're unpromoted and they're already level 20. It's 3 sword units, 2 mercs and a myrmidon. It actually says myrmidon, not samurai. Hidden Truths 2, however, the mysterious figure turns out to be Anakos. Good Anakos, because the Anakos you killed in Revelations kind of threw away his good side, and now Anakos... I'm sorry, good Anakos has Robin's voice.
Go ahead.
Good Anakos has the same voice actor as Robin, so I thought, wait, Robin? Although he has like this light blue hair that Lilith has. Essentially, Anakos tells them that my evil half is trying to destroy stuff. Please go and find the Norian royals, get them on your side, and eventually kill Anakos. The 3 say okay. He transports them to Vala, and they find out, wow, we're weak. So Anakos does some weird stuff, and he changes their names and changes their classes. Severa becomes Selena and gets her current outfit for Fates. Ino becomes Laszlo and gets his current outfit. And Owain becomes Odin and gets a class change.
I am Odin Dark!
Owain, I'm going to slap you.
Literally, because like I think the outfit change was like based on what they would want him to look like a little bit.
It is actually how they want to look.
And Odin and Owain shows that of all things.
Odin just gets really hammy. Severa literally says, "I'm going to slap you if you don't shut up," and Leslie just kind of laughs uncomfortably. Anakos then sweats up. Anakos gets his portrait, which I really would sweat a portrait, and says, "Are these 3 really strong enough? Are these 3 really the best choices I could get?"
They're the only ones that accepted my invitation.
Oh well. Well, have fun dealing with those guys. I kind of have no fighting ability whatsoever. And then you have to fight Eret on the map. By the way, at the start of this chapter, the 3 get something called Dragon Blood, which essentially gives them the ability to use Dragon Veins for that chapter. The map is essentially breakthrough, open up. It's really confusing. I'm not gonna lie, I can't really explain it all that well. Also, by completing, you get to...
Yeah, I got it.
By the way, by completing this, you get First Blood, which essentially gives one character the ability to use Dragon Veins. And here's the fun thing. Let me look through this. There is... Oh my god, stop doing that. There is a... You have to use 3 Dragon Veins to get through and then get to the escape zone. However, but whoever activates the last Dragon Vein gets 3 unique skills. Owain gets Soul, Quintoxic, and Tome Fair. Inigo gets Astra, Aegis, and Death Blow. And Severa gets Luna, Counter, and Warding Blow. I'd like to note, these carry over into those three when you get them, whenever you get them in your file. It's really good. That's Series 1 done. Next up, Series 2, starting with Vanguard Dawn.
Oh yeah. This really isn't... Alright, we don't even really have to explain it. Ain't it much? It is a map from... It is literally a map from Path of Radiance.
Radiant Dawn.
Radiant Dawn.
Radiant Dawn.
Well, it's a map from that. A big one. A tough one. And you have to survive and defend.
And the enemies only get stronger as you get stronger. So it's actually better to fight it really early on.
Yep, and it gets you a good class. What does it give you may ask?
The Vanguard class.
Otherwise known as...
Ike's class.
You like Ike?
Become Ike! The class is pretty simple. It gives you... The skills are essentially are Heavy Blade, which is the opposite of Dancing Blade from Lodestar. A couple of defensive skills, and Aether. I've actually never used it. Also, here's something funny. You want to know something that happens when you use the Vanguard class?
Go on.
Your sword changes to Ragnell.
Lovely.
The next chapter is called Anna on the Run.
This is the chapter where you get Fate's version of Anna.
Who is
Anna.
much...
And it's basically this... It's basically the same thing as the chapter in Awakening, and let me tell you, it's... This Anna... If I have to say anything about Fates, they did Anna right.
Good. She's a lot smaller, but as from what I know, she's actually a merchant class, which makes sense.
She's not the merchant class, she's actually an adventurer, ironically enough.
Okay, fine, makes sense, I guess.
But she can become the merchant class if she so wishes.
The next one is... Okay, the next three chapters are pretty simple. Essentially, one goes into ballisticians, one goes into witches, and the last one is a free DLC. And you can either take the item that allows you to become a ballistician or a witch.
Choose the witch. As a recommendation from me and everyone else, choose the witch.
Why
it is literally the class that actually breaks the fucking game.
To explain, ballisticians are crap, because here's the thing. They're essentially moving ballistae. And that makes them super slow with the shortest range in the entire game.
I mean, admittedly, it's kind of funny to see a fucking tank, but it's also the weakest tank to ever exist.
I'd like to know, I made a Zama the ballistician when I actually got that thing.
Great, now it can be super useless.
Yep. The witch class is a magic wielding class that can increase the powers of potions and teleport. You may think, but wait, magic sucks in this game.
Well, the witch basically says "fuck you" to that, and well, that magic stat somehow has somehow been turned into. That's a lot of magic.
I'd like to know. I made Ophelia, Odin's daughter, into a witch. She saved me in Conquest with teleportation.
Here's an honest thing. Prepare to hear if you turn like Ophelia into the witch class or really any magic unit into the witch class. Prepare to be hearing a lot of crits.
Yeah, the witch class is a DLC class and the only magic class that is actually good.
How good is it, you might ask? Well, let me tell you, good Sonny Jim. It's look, it's buff. It's broken. Like, literally everything that it is makes it broken, because it makes what is supposed to be the worst part of Fates actually good, and it makes it too good. That's not even talking about the warp function. The warp function is one of the most broken things ever.
Essentially, it allows the caster to warp to anywhere near to a space next to one of your units, depending on their magic stat. By the way, the magic stat isn't cut at all. It's pure magic stat.
And since the magic stat for a witch is already going to be as high as you can fucking make it,
it essentially allows the witch to go anywhere on the map if another one of your units is there.
It's essentially a savior tool if you ever need one.
And believe me, it saved my ass when I was playing Talk Me in Conquest.
Well, besides fighting that nightmare hell, what's next?
Another gift from Anna, which either gets you the Paragon Scroll or some boots.
Paragon Scroll, as always.
Boots.
But all right.
I use the boots more because they give more than Paragon just doubles your XP. It's not that useful for a lot of games.
It helps at some points, especially if you have a unit you want to level up fast.
The first time I actually got it, I was already at the end game, so.
Fair enough, but all right. Now comes the next part.
Xenolog 15 in Endless Streams, the only one of these things I've actually gotten and never beaten. All you, Drady.
All right. So what is the story of Endless Dreams? Well, basically, all the children units are on the run, basically, because their parents have been murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And I do mean their parents have been murdered. By the Valites, no less. Specifically, it happened in their deep realms. Specifically, it's a basic what-if scenario if the bad ending happened in the deep realms. Helms for their paralogs.
Essentially, all the original generation are dead, and you're stuck using the kids.
Mind you, the kids don't hold back. They are no slouches at all because, for one, you're fighting. The first chapter you end up playing as with this is Kana. I'm trying to remember which Kana you end up with first. I think it's the female one.
Female one. I remember this one. I remember that much of it, at least.
You get with the female one, and I believe you run into some Hoshidians first.
You get Kiragi, Selkie, Hisame, and Mitama.
Yep, because those three are important. Well,
I'd like to know that Chiguri is narrating most of this.
Yeah, kinda don't blame him for it. He's kind of doing his own fucking thing.
By the way, Percy arrives as an evil guy, and by completing the chapter, you get Skill Taker and Luck Taker, which, whenever you kill an enemy, you get Skill and Luck +2. Stacks up to 10.
Not bad. But yeah, after dealing with that, you then at the next chapter is the reverse, where you end up with male Kana.
Realms collide.
Male Kana.
You have Kana male, Forrest, Sophie, Dwyer, Ophelia, and apparently Nina is a guest. Also, the bosses are Shiro, Asuki, and Kaldori.
Yeah, the reason why this is happening I'll get into later, but yeah, there's a reason why you're fighting the other children units.
By the way, Kana has become Dragon Roar, you know, the whole Remember the paralogue? Same thing.
She's become sort of dragon enraged, and this is a state that sort of happens due to a very intense panic. And let me tell you, she has a good reason to panic.
Hey! By the way, the reward is Magic Taker.
Yeah. After that chapter, everyone's sort of panicking, wondering what the fuck to do, and you actually weirdly get some good character development for the folks.
The Changing Tide is the next chapter whenever you're ready.
Okay, what was that one?
Units gained: Shiro, Asagi, Midori, Kaldori, and Raja as a guest. Boss, Kanamail, and Forest.
Well, where are we exactly?
Let me check.
Because depending on the map, I might be able to figure this out.
This Xenologue uses the map from chapter 18 of Birthright.
And that one is?
Leo's map.
Alright, I remember correctly, like you end up fighting them, and it's a pain in the ass process. You don't really have to deal with, I think, the same level of things, but you're still dealing with problems. You get some actual nice character development because, as a surprisingly ironic thing, which still gets me to this day, somehow the 2.0 characters get more development here than they did in their supports. To where they actually are kind of different.
By the way,
it's
if all your units survive, you get Strength Taker.
It's fun.
The next chapter is let me check what the name is. It's Light Sacrifice, which uses the Great Wall of Susanoo.
Oh yeah. I think this is the one. I think I remember this one in particular because this is where every children units encounter each other.
Units gained: Siegbert, Valoria, Ignatius, Shaleo, Percy. Star of chapter: Kana, Forest, Ophelia, Kana. After turn 3, if near Ballast Zero, Fasame is defeated, talk to Forest with Siegbert for guest. Forest, Ophelia, Nina, Dwyer, and Sophie. Boss: female Kana, Kuragi, and Shiro. And you get Defense Taker for beating this chapter.
It's a powerful thing. Truly and really is. So this is the first time where all the children units meet, and something odd happens. What's odd? Well, for just a split second, the children units see that the people they've been fighting actually look normal. Just for a little bit, though. And only for a little bit.
The next chapter is known as Endless Dawn. Units gained: Sugar Ikana, Star of Chapter, Shiro Siegbert, beginning of turn 2, Kiragi Forest, beginning of turn 3, Asaki Solea Hisame Ophelia, beginning of turn 4, Matama Dwyer. Boss: Sumuragi, Aret, Mikoto. Rewards gained:
I've been skipping plot here. I need to double back a sec.
Rewards gained: Speed Taker and Resistance Taker Tome.
Alright, I need to actually explain a bit of the plot that's going on. Basically, in the in-between moments and certain parts, we've been getting cut-ins from Shigure, who's sort of trying to protect the others because he doesn't want them to get hurt. hurt, and especially since he sort of realizes, since Azura is dead, or somewhat dead, she's basically a ghost that's haunting him at the moment, that he has to take on Anankos and use his song.
So the entirety of the scenario is, what if all the original generation died and all the child units had to fight Anankos instead?
Not exactly. It's kind of that, but it's also, for once... I mean, if I give anything credit, it's that you actually get character development for the less developed children units, but, you know, that's one thing. And... oh boy. Alright. So... next up on that list of things that's going on, the children units sort of have moments where they kind of panic a bit. I mean, Agi doesn't think he's really ready to wield the bow. That his father had, which was the Fujin Yumi. And Shiro is having his own problems. He's basically just trying to figure out how as he described it, his old man would do things, and trying to figure out if he's got what it takes. So he's sort of going through his own troubles, but he has his, ironically, the people that he would consider his retainers by his side, and ironically, those retainers are Kaeldori and Asagi. Kiragi's retainers are, if I'm correct, Selkie,
because
adorable, and I think Hisame. Yeah.
So what about Siegbert?
Sieg, of course, gets Soleil, and I think he also gets. There's another one I'm forgetting here. I think ironically enough, he actually gets Sophie.
Interesting.
Possibly.
And Forrest.
I could be wrong. Forrest, I think if I'm correct, gets... Actually, Forrest ironically gets... It's Leo's retainers kids.
Nina and Ophelia?
Yep.
So what about, like, Valoria and...
Valoria may or may not. I think the thing about them is that they stick with Kana.
The ones you haven't mentioned so far are Mitama, Dwyer.
Mitama sort of ends up. Mitama sort of sticks with. Mitama, again, though the ones in the back line sort of stick with Kana.
We have Mitama, Dwyer. We have Mitama, Dwyer, Midori, Rajat, Valoria, and Ignatius.
Again, stick with Dwyer. Not Dwyer, but Kana. And mainly
which Kana?
Well, the Norians stick with male Kana because it's canon that the female protagonist apparently chose Conquest, and the Hoshidans stick with female Kana because, well, you get the idea.
I get it.
Now the development is here and there, and it's actually nice. Again, personality shown for Asagi and Kaeldori of all things, even Rajat. And then we get to Vala, which you basically encounter, of course, Sumeragi, Mikoto, and Arate. Alright. And it's actually kind of sweet. I mean, mainly the dialogues for when you fight them, because here's a bit of a thing. If you fight Shira, if Shiro fights Sumeragi, you get a moment where Sumeragi is a little bit proud. Proud and also kind of surprised to see Shiro around.
I see.
Mikoto has some sad dialogue with Kanas, and I do mean both Kanas. And I think even weirdly, Kana refers to Mikoto as grandma.
Oof.
That's a real hitter there.
Why'd you say that?
And Shigure has dialogue with Arate. Ariande.
The last one is End Lost in Waves. You get all Chardient and you get Anakos. And before you go into the story, I'm going to mention a couple of the trivia things. Firstly, if all the kids survive, and by completing this chapter, you get point blank, which is what you'd expect. And then, Lost in the Waves is heard in this chapter.
But this time, it's done by Shigure.
Nice.
And I can give credit to Matthew Mercer. That man can fucking sing. Recommend listening to it because it's a really good track.
And here's the thing. If any of the children die, Aniko dies alone and the children say goodbye for one last time. If they all survive the battle, Lilith passes on with Anakos, the children make a promise to somehow meet again, and Shigure and the Kanas fulfill this promise after the credits. And the credits will show who killed each boss in Heirs of Fate, and
there's some CGs.
Important bit. Depending on which units use the Master Seals in Heirs of Fate 5, they will be the class chosen for them and receive another weapon or staff. I will now say them all, so listen closely. Hisame, Swordmaster with a Curry Blade. Master of Arms, Venge Katana. Asugi, Master Ninja gets the Chakram, Mechanist Spy Shuriken. Soleil, Hero gets the Brave Sword, Bow Knight gets Killer Bow. Ophelia, as a Sorcerer, gets Excalibur, Dark Knight, Ginangagap. Actually, Ginangagap, that's actually how you say it. Nina, Adventurous, Spies Yumi. Bow Knight, Nina gets the Spies Union if you advance her. Mitama as an Amayanji gets Hexing Rod, as a Priestess he gets a Great Festal. And Dwyer, as a Strategist he gets Enfeeble, as a Butler he gets Fortify.
Well, okay, here we go. Time to explain the plot, and oh god, this is gonna hurt you so much. You're probably wondering why I'm saying this, right? You're probably wondering. Here's the thing about the enemies you fight. While you're fighting some regular Valites, you are also fighting every single first generation unit. And well, not every single one. The mothers are not accounted for. You basically get to fight every single child unit's father. And let me tell you... It hurts! Do you have any idea how much Ophelia and Soleil's hurt?
No, I really don't want to.
Oh, don't worry, I'll be sending you that video soon.
Fuck you!
You have to see it for yourself.
I know, I'm going to still watch it, I'm just...
Like, you literally, and I want to point out, every character gets a moment. My personal favorite besides Soleil and Ophelia is Dwyer, because it's one of those personal things where he just sort of finally lets loose on his emotions and tells Jacob that he actually does love him. Oh, trust me, you haven't seen anything yet.
Anyway,
like, I'm just paraphrasing the dialogue. It's... Oh, by the way, those CGs, I recommend looking at them too, because... Oh...
I don't see them.
Oh, don't worry. How about this? I'm gonna go get them for you.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about 2 DLC chapters that were never released outside of Japan.
Good.
Essentially, Hoshin Norien Festival of Bonds, it's, essentially, the child and parent units talk with their parents. And I'd like to note, with Hoshidans, you get unlimited Exiles brand, you get unlimited Heroes brand with Norians. Unlimited. And, oh my god, there are outfits for every single character. Holy crap. Midori, okay. Midori is where, okay, oh my god, Draven.
Do they look good?
God damn it! God damn it!
Oh, screw you, game designers.
Oh!
Okay, I don't think I can show you the CGs.
While the Hoshins get a bunch of kimonos and several child units, the Norians get a bunch of Halloween outfits. And I mean, oh, it's not even like the characters have to be Norian or Hoshin. Ugh.
By the way, you're gonna be looking to Discord in a second.
Ugh.
And I do mean you're gonna be looking to Discord in a second because I found them.
Ugh.
I found them.
Oh god, those outfits are so adorable.
I sent a link for one, but I think it's not deciding to load for some fucking reason. Because it hates me, I guess.
Draven?
Yeah?
Go to F. Okay, you know what? No, I have a better idea. Nope, not that. I want you to look at this link, scroll down to Hoshin and Norien Festival of Bonds, and then look. Just look.
I mean, I've seen. Well,
No,
I've seen.
No. There are characters who are in kimonos and characters who are in Halloween outfits. Look.
I know. I've seen them.
Oh, that's an adorable one with Kiragi and Takumi. Oh, come on. Hey, man.
Oh, I mean, trust me, you haven't seen anything yet.
I'm looking it up now.
Like, yeah, feel free to just look up, like, Heirs of Fate CGs and then go into images. You'll see them for yourself.
The first one, like I was Forrest.
Mm-hmm. What'll really break you is when you see the. What'll really break you is when you see the.
Oh, the Kanas! The Kanas! Oh god, Forrest looks like. Oh god, real one shit. Okay, wow, that's actually really cool between those two, Xander and Jiro. Azura and Chikarte. Oh! Oh!
I'm a little broke. Yeah, okay. Okay. Ow! My heart.
My heart.
I told you! You're welcome for making. You're welcome for breaking. You're welcome, by the way. I'm great at breaking a human being. I should mention that I wonder, have you seen the CGs for both Kanas?
Yes.
The hugs are nice. Oh man, if this breaks you, wait until you get to the fucking dialogue.
Oh no! Oh!
I should probably mention something about the Shigure and Azura one. Azura isn't there, technically. She's a ghost still. Shigure is essentially living alone at the moment. He just has a ghost of his mother. Are you? Should we stop stream now?
No.
Do you need a minute?
Give me a minute. I'm looking at Ryoma and Xander's. Oh.
Are you actually watching the video now?
No, I just found the images. I think Forest was the one that hit me the hardest.
Was it just because of the... Was it just because of like the raw... That's because like Forest is crying, and not to mention Leo is opening his arms to give him a hug.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one that gets me the most is... I mean, here's the thing. The one that gets me the most is Kiragi. Because, like... I like Kiragi. He's a good kid, and not to mention, like... Seeing Takumi be happy as well is also nice.
Guys, I'm gonna warn you. If your heart doesn't melt a little when you see these, you have a heart of stone.
Alright, I think I'm good. I think I am good.
Okay. I'm good now. So, last big thing. My castle.
Yep.
It's essentially a base that you can go to between every chapter. Well, most chapters. Looking at you, Endgame, and Black Flame, White Flame. Now, my castle is essentially a base building. For every chapter, every time you complete a chapter, you get a Dragon Vein point. And every time you go, and this includes skirmishes. And every time you go to another person's castle, because it's Wi-Fi, you can go to other people's castles, you get some of a Dragon Vein point, because it's a bar. Like a meter. Not alcohol bar thing. Anyway. There are several things you need to note about my castle. Firstly, it's free roaming. Secondly, Felicia and Jacob often are the ones who are talking. Like they are the ones you go to to build, because you build things in this game in this using Dragon Vein points. Now
there is a bit of a thing that you can change your person to. You have many options, but the only options you get are Felicia, Jacob, Flora, and Gunter.
Now, before we even start, there are 3 styles. For Birthright, there is Hoshiden, which is the basic, Wind Tribe, which is essentially chasms and rocky terrain, and Izumite, which is fancy with a giant rock in the center. I don't like any of those. I only like Wind Tribe one. For Conquest, there's Norin, which is the basic, Chavois, which is essentially a Great Stone Town, and Nestrian, which is Venice, which is my favorite because it looks beautiful. I love Nestrian style. Now there are a lot of buildings, so I'm going to go into them.
And while you do that, I'm going to be watching, you know what, I'm not okay right now.
So, no, Draven, I actually want you to be here to help me with this.
What the hell do I have to do?
You're
Sorry,
supposed
man.
to add witty commentary.
Alright, fine. What the hell are we building?
Okay, so I'm going to say what the place is called, when you unlock them, and what they do. Let's start with the Dawn Armory.
Well, basically, Hoshidian Armory, and really, as a personal thing, get these fucking armories while you still can. I mean, build them immediately. They are the primary and most important thing you should focus on at all times.
Because they give you better weapons.
I think you also need to build there's a different like armory for staves, if I'm correct.
Yep. So.
And that one's also a priority as well, because the staves one is the one that gets you master seals.
Yep, and along with staves which actually have uses, like they can be destroyed. Now, the Dawn Armory, you get level 1 on chapter 6, you get level 2 on chapter 13, and you get level 3 on chapter 20. You can get this in Birthright and Revelations. Next up, the Dusk Armory.
Same thing, do it again, and do it again.
It's the Dawn Armory, but Norin weapons this time, which I found are actually usually better than Hoshin weapons for various reasons.
One of them being the Killing series.
Yep. Next up, we have the Rod and Staff stores. Rod for Birthright, Staff for Conquest. Same
Basically,
chapters. You get them. You unlock their levels with the same chapters as the armories, and Rod Star I found is better because Hoshin staves have 1 or 2 range, while staves have 1 range.
Again, necessities. Both are necessities, no matter what. But because again, master seals.
I prefer you get the stores to level 3 before the armories.
Yep, because you would have picked up at least a few good weapons on the battlefield by now. And even then, at level 1, the store still offers some good weapons.
Armories, and besides, level 3 armories are kind of useless because you get the killing weapons at rank 2.
Yeah, so you're fine.
Although level 3 does give you infinite killing weapons, because there's limited stock for high level weapons.
Yeah, they'll eventually restock, which is usually after a chapter or just a grind battle you do. No, but you kind of do need to take into account what you're doing.
Next up, we have the Next up, we have the Smithy.
Basically, blacksmithing, doing some regular old bullshit.
1 second. Morning, Mom. I'm stitching the Draven. Sorry.
Ow. Ow.
Right. Smithy has been in every Fire Emblem game. Essentially, they allow you to upgrade your weapons, giving them more power, accuracy, and crit rate.
And you can name them.
Like Death Stabber.
Or Pointy Demon Spanker.
Thank you, Lucina. Anyway, the big thing about the smithy is you need to use gems.
I wish you could fucking have a name that long.
You can't, it's like 12 letters. Or 13. Anyway, smithy is a little bit hard to use this time around because instead of using gold, you have to use gems, which are, I'll go into that once after all the buildings. Anyway, you first get
resources.
Anyway, you first get the smithy in chapter 8. You get level 2 in chapter 14, and in chapter 20 you get access to level 3. Then the arena. The arena allows you to bet 1 resource, and you can get 2 if you win. And by upgrading it, you can do more. You can do 2 or 3 battles in a row to increase your earnings even more. Get level 1 in chapter 19, level 2 in 15, and level 3 in 21. Then we have the prison.
This is where you take all of your captured units and try to get them on your side.
It costs resources, though.
Yep. I would also like to point out that anyone can be in charge of the prison. Even Kana.
Yeah.
It's kind of hilarious because as you can send her in to try to win him over to your side. And like usually at first it just seems like torture or like having to do something, but Kana is just like trying to win him over with cheerfulness.
Yeah. Never going
It's
to get
adorable.
You can get prison level 8, 14, chapter 8, chapter 14, chapter 20. A lottery shop.
Basically, have a chance to win an item, maybe?
You first get in chapter 7, you can upgrade in 13, and then finally level 3 in chapter 19. It's okay.
You get either resources from it or you get an item. Sometimes the item is good, sometimes it is not.
Usually even if it's high level, it's still worthless.
Yep.
Just hope you get resources.
Yeah.
Next up we have the mess hall.
Food.
This is where you can take your food resources and by combining them and by cooking with 1, 2, and then by cooking with items, you can get stat buffs. It also depends on who's in charge of the mess all the time.
Someone could be completely and utterly terrible at cooking, and let me tell you, everyone will show. You get some interesting reactions.
I'd like to note that the only one I actually remember that's actually good is Perry.
Yeah. She is real good. And adorable.
You first get chapter 7. Chapter 13, you can upgrade it, and you can cook food with 2 ingredients. And if you get to level 3, that unlocks chapter 19, and you can cook food for every single unit. Before, you could only cook for half your units. And it's random who. Next up, the accessory shop.
This is just mainly for customization.
It allows you essentially by using resources you can get accessories, which are cosmetics.
Cosmetics cost a fucking lot, I'll have you know.
Yeah, first one, chapter 18, 14, 20. God, they're expensive!
I should also remember one of the accessories happens to be a bath towel.
Yep, it's the only one of its kind. It costs 5 peaches. Yes, I don't miss the irony in that. And the character wears a bath towel everywhere now.
Do I
accidentally
even
forgot.
need to point out that if giving this to anyone as a gift will make them very confused.
Yep. And I accidentally put it on my Corin once. Forgot to take it off for the chapter. I could not take her seriously. It was the chapter where Gunter turned traitor.
Gunter, how could you do this?
You're wearing a bath towel. Oops.
Okay, look, I had to get back to this cutscene quickly. I was taking a bath.
Yeah, no, I can't take them serious when they're wearing those. Next up, we have the Aaron Jar Shop.
This is basically for just random units from Wi-Fi battles that you've collected and your units from past playthroughs, because you can save which units are, there.
You first get in chapter 11, then 17, then 23. It's essentially if you want to bring back some strong units.
Yeah.
But it costs a lot of gold.
Do you really want to risk that? Do you?
Using
really?
Using up most of your gold for one unit. Doesn't even bring over their weapons, by the way. So.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Lilith's Temple.
Feed your fucking small fish dragon. Feed them. Make them happy.
Give her an item, and you can do it every time you come back to my castle after a fight. And essentially,
please take care of her.
You start with it, and then you get level 2 and 11 and level 3 in chapter 16. In Birthright, she heals. In Conquest, she hurts, and in Revelations, she does both.
Feed her and love her. She is a sweet, small fish.
Also, rarely on levels with multiples of 3, you'll get a gold bar, which gives you 300 free gold.
She also mentioned the depression of the fact that on Conquest and Birthright after Lilith has died, you kind of go back and make an offering.
And instead of Lilith happily eating it, it just kind of fades away.
Mm-hmm.
And Corin doesn't speak at all for the entirety of the time that they're in there. So.
The only dialogue they'll say is either just ... dots or Lilith.
It's depressing.
The music is also different. Usually it's somewhat of a cheerful theme in there, but when Lilith isn't there, it's sort of somber.
Next up, we have the Records Hall.
This one is essentially for supports. This one is essentially for supports, or it's story things, and also profiles for every single character.
It gives the characters profiles. It allows you to look at past support conversations. It allows you to look at past cutscenes. It allows you to listen to music, and you can peruse weird text that I think is supposed to be nodding to Anagos. You have it at the start, and then you can upgrade it in chapter 16, and finally in chapter 24. Next up, we have the Traveler's Plaza.
This is essentially for Wi-Fi stuff, and that's it.
It also
Literally, that's it.
It also takes up a lot of space, and I've never used it.
Don't use it, essentially, is what we're telling you.
It takes up way too much space, because you don't have infinite space in a castle.
After that...
private quarters.
Oh. Oh.
I'd like to
Here
know
we go.
I'd like to know that it's where Corin sleeps, and it's a treehouse. Essentially, you could talk with your allies and grow closer to them.
And if you end up marrying someone, they'll join you in your humble home.
And there
It's
are
actually kind of
and
sweet.
It's very sweet, and and essentially every time you do it, you get a close up of the person you married, and there's a couple of voice dialogues. It's fairly sweet.
Yeah, I swear to God, Laszlo's is the most Laszlo's.
But I like to note, in the Japanese version, there is a mini game where you could tap the person's face and get more bond points.
My personal favorite one is just, I swear, my personal favorite thing about that is just like, I swear, the dialogue. The dialogue can be sweet, adorable, sometimes weird, but good. And then you just have my personal favorite one, which is just... Laszlo, when he says he loves you, he goes all the way with it.
I'd like to note, Hana's is... I don't actually use that option that much, but I did Hana's. One of the lines is Hana being very sweet, the screen goes dark, and then Hana says in a low, guttural tone, "Nobody's harming my husband." And it scared the crap out of me when I first heard it.
She's very protective.
Like, when I first heard it, I stopped, I sat down my 3DS, and then I looked around, and then I just grabbed my pillow and just looked at it for a little bit and tried not to be freaked out. She is terrifying. So yeah. Scary. And the last one is the hot spring, which you get unlock at chapter 10.
And basically you get some comedic moments, some nice relaxing moments, and some sweet moments with whoever your marriage partner is.
So there are 3 things that can happen. If there are people who are of the same sex in the bath, you just sit down, talk with them, and have a nice chill moment, either some girls talk or some guy talk. If it's the opposite gender, however,
you get some embarrassed expressions,
and Corin runs out in panicked.
Except for Niles, who is just like, "Well, hello there."
Yeah, and for a couple of the characters, I can't. Okay. Okay, I need to explain this. For a couple characters, if you enter and they're the opposite sex, they will chase you out, and their critical portrait appears with the whole flash and all. I'm not kidding.
I don't think I've gotten that one, but it must have been with certain characters.
The very first time I entered the hot springs with male Corin, I sat down, Hana was there, and she freaked out, and Corin ran out. Hana pulled out a sword from somewhere and chased him out, yelling, "I'm going to kill you," with her critical portrait on the screen.
Well, that's one way to bond with your future husband.
Wife.
Wife, husband,
like, I was just
whatever.
like, well, I am never using the hot springs again.
I did, because I don't think I ever got that, but I guess it's only with specific people.
I got it with Obro as well.
Was there a critical thing for her?
Oh, yes.
Not surprising.
I also got it with Charlotte.
There was a critical for her, too.
Uh-huh. I got it with Xander as well.
What is the partial feeling? I'm sorry, Xander has one?
Yes.
What the hell kind of... What the hell, Xander? Why do you have a critical portrait on
Here's the
yours?
thing. It wasn't at Corin.
Who was it at?
Laszlo. To explain, female Corin sat down in the hot springs. She noticed Laszlo. She freaked out a little bit. Then Xander walked in and said, "Laszlo, hello there, my lord." And then Laszlo ran out with Xander saying, "How dare you!" And he pulled out Siegfried from somewhere. And then Corin just kind of, and then Corin was just sitting there. And then I left. Yeah,
that kind of has to be odd. That kind of has to be odd. You think that well, I guess we could definitely say as a headcanon that's how Laszlo and Corin bonded a little. Maybe maybe because she wanted to apologize for getting Xander hicked on him.
Yeah, no, that was actually in my Revelations file, so I did it on a whim, like, well, might as well see what happens. Oh, hi there, Laszlo. Hi there, Xander. Okay then, hi Xander, you just got really mad. Oh. Yeah, that was one of the weirdest times in gaming for me. All I could do afterwards was just look at the screen for a second, set down my 3DS, plug it in, and then leave the room. And I think I go into. Then I think
I really kind of wish that one of his.
I'm fairly certain that afterwards I went to go to the dishes. I still remember that.
I kind of hope that one of the that there is like a voiced critical quote for that. Just get back here, Laszlo!
It wasn't that, but it was. It was silence.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was that one, and it was Xander literally said, "Get back here, Laszlo," and Xander just screamed. I'm sorry, Laszlo just screamed, and then Corin just has a triple dot, and then the scene ended.
Perfect. You know what? Alright, that officially just makes that's officially the greatest scene in all of Fates.
Yeah, no, just Laszlo's sitting in there, Corin comes in, she freaks out a little bit, Xander comes in, Laszlo realizes, oh god, I'm screwed, and then runs, and Xander comes after him with Siegfried. And Corin just looks kind of well then.
I have an honest question for you. Do you think, have you seen in the set of images of Laszlo against everyone?
No.
Okay, there is a set of Laszlo memes that specifically goes like this. It's, you know what, let me try to find.
Okay then. Well, he's doing that. I'm gonna explain the gather points. Essentially, in Birthright and Conquest, you get 2 gather points, 1 for gems, 1 for food. Revelations, you get 4, 1, 2, a food gather point from Hoshido, a mine gather point from Hoshido, mine gather point from Nor, and food gather point from Nor. So, in Conquest, you have the hunting forest for meat, the dairy for milk, the cabbage patch for cabbage, the berry garden for berries, and the wheat field for wheat. In Birthright, you have the bean fields for beans, the fishing hole for fish, the daikon garden for daikons, the peach orchard for peaches, and the rice paddy for rice. And you can upgrade all of these. You get them at the start. You can upgrade them once in 12 and to level 3 in 18. I got it, Mom. Okay. next up, we have the gems. For Birthright, we have Pearl, Coral, Lapis, Jade, Amber, and Quartz. For Conquest, we have Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, Onyx, Emerald, and Topaz. And then there's the other stuff. Firstly, we have the Dawn and the Dust Dragons. The Dawn Dragon heals for a certain amount of HP every turn in invasions, while the Dust Dragon damages. You can first get him in Chapter 9, upgrade him in 15, and then again in 21. Then you have the other stuff. Firstly, there's the Golems, which are from Conquest. You can get 3 of them, and you unlock them during 10, then 16, then 20, and 22 for level 3, and they're Stoneborn. You get the Puppets in Birthright. Same leveling and unlock, and they're the automatons that mechanists use. And then you have a launcher, which is for shurikens, and a ballista for bows in Conquest, and a fire orb for mages in Conquest. Also, there's a bunch of other things like some glades, healing tiles, caltrops, a grave for some reason, that type of thing. And every single character has a statue. The statue increases their it increases their best stat and a partner stat by 1, and if it's level 3, it increases all characters. And then this is go to Surrender Force if you want to know what each of those do. Am I forgetting anything else? Let's see. I'm checking. Oh, right. Unlockable characters you can get from this. If I can find it. By the way, here's something kind of funny. In the Japanese version, there's a swimsuit option for accessories. It's a full-on swimsuit. It's yeah. I'm not kidding.
Perfect.
Every single character has their own unique swimsuit in Japan. It's dumb. It's dumb. Anyway.
I'm still looking, I should mention. Okay, I did find something. I did find something on my journey of trying to find the set of Laszlo pictures.
Okay. So there are a couple of characters that are unlocked through my castle. Give me a moment. Okay. That's weird. So firstly, there's Izana, which you can
I found
get...
it!
There's Izana, which you can get after you get the hot spring to level 3, and Yukimura if you can get a puppet to level 3. Izana 19 and Yukimura is 23 for the levels. Let's see. That's for yeah. Okay, here we go. Then, now this is important. Fuga and Flora are apparently Revelations only. Fuga will appear in the if you get Hot Springs level 3, while Flora will appear in my castle 1 battle after upgrading the launcher, ballista, or fire up to level 3. Fuga you can get at level chapter 19 or later, and Flora level 20, chapter 23 or later. I'm not kidding. This is literally what they do.
Things are weird.
There are also some DLC characters like Anna. There are the amiibo characters, that being Marth, Ike, Lucina, and Robin. I actually have Robin. And then there's a bunch of bosses you can get. I think that's it. Yeah, the thing is, here's something interesting. Fuga is exclusive to Route 3. You cannot get Fuga in Birthright or Conquest. Oh my god. That's so bad. That's so
What?
bad.
Did you finally see it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you finally seeing the collection of images images that I love the fucking most?
Mm-hmm.
It just gets utterly wrecked.
If you people could see what I'm seeing right now, you would laugh.
He just got fucking drop kicked by fucking Perry.
Yeah, no, he got drop kicked. Selena is slapping him with her twin tails, and Charlotte essentially just hit him in the face.
My personal favorite is Selena putting Laszlo into a submission hold. I also do kind of love him and Felicia. She couldn't hold him.
Apparently, Laszlo is the fandom's punching bag.
Oh. Welcome to how I feel.
Anyway, Draven,
Yeah?
you know what I think we just did?
We won?
We got all of Fates done!
Huzzah! Huzzah!
We're finally done. It only took us 3 hours. Which means it only took us like, I don't know, 10, 11 hours to do all of these.
We did good.
Only took us 11 hours to get through all 3 versions.
Well, I'd say we did good.
Yay! So, this has been Roxas Shade.
And everyone's favorite vagabond, Draven.
Talking about Fire Emblem Fates. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.